Recorded live from Chi-Chi's in Louisville, Kentucky, the Paul Hornung Sports Showcase. With college and pro football Hall of Famer Paul Hornung. Brought to you by Ford and your local Ford dealer, where quality is standard. By Coors Light. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now. By UPS, now offering 10:30 a.m. guaranteed overnight air delivery. And by Chi-Chi's, where every day is a celebration of food. Now, here's Paul.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, gang. All right. All right, thank you. Yes, sir, we got a packed house here in Louisville, Kentucky. We're here at Chi-Chi's Restaurant. This is our last show, ladies and gentlemen, on Store Cable Channel 8 and Sports Channel America all over the United States. And I just want to thank everybody for watching this year and helping us out. We've had 20 great weeks, and I hope we're going to end up with one that you're going to like. But before we go, I want to introduce you to a very special young man. Come here, Malcolm. Come on, Malcolm. This is Malcolm McKinney. Gentlemen, you're going to see here. This is Malcolm McKinney, and Malcolm was just voted Chi-Chi's Employee of the Year. How about that? Not here. Yes, sir. You're a little embarrassed. And he's not embarrassed, dude. That's over 300 restaurants nationally. This young man's 20 years old, and he's got a great future. Congratulations, Malcolm. Tell us what you won.
I won $1,000 in cash. I won a trip valued up to $1,000 for two people. I won a television valued up to $400, and I get to eat dinner with Hal and Joe Micatrato. That's our president, our vice president, and a few other little consolation gifts. I'm happy though.
I just wanted to congratulate Malcolm because I tell you he's here every week with us, and he really helps us on this particular show. So Malcolm, congratulations. You're a great young man. Malcolm McKinney, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yeah, I didn't want to tell Malcolm I was going to do that. Afraid he would went out the front door there. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is Super Bowl week, and Sunday in prime time, 120 million people will be watching this football game all over the United States and almost every other country imaginable. We've got a great matchup, and tonight we're going to take a look. We're not only going to take a look at the Super Bowl, but I'm going to take a look specifically at the case for both teams. We're going to take a look at Thurman Thomas, who I think is one of the big keys in that football game. We're also going to take an in-depth look at the Washington Redskins, what makes them tick. Mark Rippon, who I really think is the key for the Redskins. We've got some great film on them. Now, let me tell you what happened to me. You know, as I said, this is our 20th week, and I was hoping to have Sam Weiss on the show. But, of course, a couple of weeks ago, he got a new job, and believe me, I know where Sam Weiss is. He's down in Tampa right now going over the draft. He works about 28 hours a day, so he's down in Tampa. So then I got my man Dick Butkus. I said, Dick, you got to help me out. I got a show in 4 days. And I don't have a guest, and it's a Super Bowl show. I'll be there. He calls me today, that dummy. And I tell you, I'd kill him right now. And I never killed him when he's on the field, but I'll kill him when I see him. He said, Paul, I got to stay out in Los Angeles. I got a meeting tomorrow. And is it okay if I stay? I said, what do you mean is it okay? What can I do? You know, I can't do anything when I see you, for heaven's sakes. He's on his way to the Super Bowl, but now we're stuck with me tonight. And, yeah. So I tell you what we're going to do. For the last show, we're going to let everybody ask any kind of question they want. We're going to take a look. And I tell you, the NFL Films in Philadelphia really did me a favor. I said, I'm in trouble. They sent me this film, and I really think you're going to enjoy. Then I went back into the archives. In the 25th anniversary, NFL Films picked the greatest game of all time. Now, personally, I've always felt the greatest professional football game of all time was the 58 championship game between the New York Giants and the Baltimore Colts, because I felt that game brought pro football into the golden era. They disagreed with that, even though they rated it as one of the top games, and you'll be surprised, and I think it'll be enjoyable to take a look at NFL Films' pick for the greatest football game of all time. So we're going to take a look at that when we come right back. You stay right there.
It's the most exciting event in the history of your local Ford dealer. It's his 92 preview, featuring the changes of Ford Taurus with an all-new look. Not only have they improved the design outside, but inside too. Plus, they've also improved the warranty. 3 years or 36,000 miles, bumper to bumper. Nobody has more that's new for 92. See and drive the changes yourself during the 92 preview. Going on now, where quality is standard. Your Ford dealer.
Say, how about something sizzling? Saucy. Plus a little something sweet. It's Chi-Chi's Chajita Enchilada Special. Something sizzling, saucy, and sweet for just $6.99. So, what do you say?
See.
Chi-Chi's, a celebration of food.
Who guarantees overnight air delivery on Saturday to more people coast to coast?
Morning. UPS on Saturday?
Who did you think?
Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Dalthorpe, your graphites are here.
Who guarantees overnight air delivery on Saturday to more people coast to coast?
Thank you.
Who did you think?
UPS on Saturday?
Because you believe these trucks shouldn't carry a spare tire.
It's a ride beer now.
Because up here, crisp-tasting beer just comes naturally.
It's a ride beer now.
Because when the whole gang gets together, there's no room for filling up. So reach for the Silver Bullet, the beer that won't weigh you down.
It's a ride beer now.
Okay, thank you very much. And as I said, here we are back here at Chi-Chi's, Louisville, Kentucky, our last show of the year. And I just want to thank everybody along the airwaves for tuning us in. And I got a lot of calls in the latter part of the year about some of the characters that we've had on the show. And I can only hope that we can do this show next year again. And I hope we're going to be here. Hal Smith, president of Chi-Chi's, right there. So hopefully we'll be right back here at Chi-Chi's next year for our 4th year. It'll be our 4th year, and if he might give me a little raise, would be appreciated. But anyway, NFL Films, people have been very friendly with for a long, long time, and they really are the keeper of the archives of the National Football League. They were the film company who started taking films of the National Football League back in the 50s. It was a friend of Bert Bell, Ed Sable, started this company, and it's been a very, very successful company. And they send me films from week to week, and I have the opportunity to use them. A lot of other shows all around the United States, including NFL Today and NFL Live and Chris Berman's show on ESPN. When you see the films of the National Football League, you're looking at the work of NFL Films, Inc. out of Philadelphia. They are just sensational. Now, on their 25th anniversary show, they came up with the Green Bay Packer Dallas Cowboy game, the Ice Bowl, as the greatest game ever played. Now, a lot of people have always asked me about that game. They thought I played in that game. I had retired that year. And I was on the sidelines of that football game. I'll tell you a little story, because you're going to see a clip here in a minute, and it's a very unusual. I was on the sidelines, and I was going to do an interview with Frank Gifford. He was doing color for CBS at the time. I was going to do an interview with Pat Summerall, and Pat was in the locker room at halftime. He wasn't doing the play-by-play. I was going to do an interview with him. I was standing on the sidelines, and Lombardi, 4 minutes before halftime, called me over, and he said, "You stand right here with me, and if you see anything, let me know." And I had retired. Those 4 minutes, I just had an overcoat on. I didn't have any special socks or anything. It was about 25 below zero. My lips froze. I ran the field at halftime to go up and talk to Frank Gifford and Pat Summerall at halftime. I could not speak. My jaw froze. Now, that's the first time in my life that ever happened to me. And the people that know me will know it's very few times that I don't talk too much, you know what I mean? But anyway, I couldn't talk. It was so cold. But anyway, take a look at NFL Films' vote for the greatest game of all time. Here it is.
On the day of the NFL championship, it was an incredible 15 degrees below zero in Green Bay, Wisconsin. It was a day that might well be remembered as much for the numbing cold as the football.
So legendary has this chilling championship game become that we've retold the story many times in many different productions.
The operator said, very cheery, "Good morning, Mr. Rensel. It's 8 a.m. It's 15 below zero, and there's a 20-mile-an-hour wind coming out of the northwest. Have a pleasant day." It's so cold that when you literally walked outside, you couldn't take it. Now, you play in cold games most of the time, and it takes a while for you to get cold. But in this particular circumstance, the cold hits you like the moment you were out there. The band was out there, you know, to play before the game, and we looked over there and I saw like 15 guys in the tuba and trumpet section, and all their faces had blood all over it. And what had happened, they were going out there to play, and the instruments stuck to their lips, and when they pulled the instrument away, it just ripped all the skin on their lips off. So everywhere you looked, you saw this kind of insanity going on.
I guess one of my most vivid memories of that game is of Bob Hayes, the wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys, running his pass patterns with his hands in his pants. He put both hands down in the front of his pants, and he would run a pass pattern with his hands still in his pants.
The cold never came into my, never had thought about the cold, because I wanted to win that game so bad.
When we came on the field as a team to start that drive, and this is most important, everybody in that huddle had the look that we were going to get it done.
The hardy citizens of Green Bay, Wisconsin, watched their Packers do what no team had ever done.
Bart Starr coming over to check with Coach Vince Lombardi. 20 seconds remaining in this football game. The Packers inches away from something that has never before happened in pro football history. A third straight NFL championship. The Packers come out of the huddle. Starr begins the count. Takes the snap. He's got the quarterback lead, and he's into the touchdown. The Packers are out in front. And the Green Bay Packers are going to be NFL champions for the third straight year.
Of course, I don't have to tell you how proud I am of that Packer team. And really, a lot of people don't understand. They have accomplished something that's really never been duplicated, even though I've always felt the Pittsburgh Steelers teams was one of the greatest football teams of all time. And in the 70s, I don't think there was anybody who can touch them. And now in the 80s, it was the San Francisco 49ers. But no team had won 3 NFL championships, including the first 2 Super Bowls, 3 championships in a row. And I think Lombardi left a legacy that's pretty heavy. When you consider that he only coached 7 years at Green Bay, he won 5 championships, including the first 2 Super Bowls, and finished second in the league the other 2 times. So his record stands alone as far as I'm concerned, as if you're talking about coaching in professional football. Now, we got some questions from some of my friends right down here. We got a shot at it? What would you like to know, young man?
Well, my name's Colin. I'm from Wisconsin, and...
You're from Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Where are you from in Wisconsin?
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, all right.
Okay. And my question is, what was your most important touchdown?
What was my most important touchdown? Well, let's see. I think when the spread was 6 and we scored in the last minute. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, young man. I think the most important touchdown that I was a part of was my first touchdown in a championship game up in Green Bay. And I was on leave from the Army at the time, playing on the weekends. And we beat the New York Giants 37-0 in the championship game in Green Bay, and I scored the first touchdown in that game. It was quite a thrill. Yes, sir. Robert.
Paul, this year you have to have a Super Bowl question. This year's Super Bowl, you have a run-dominated team and a passing-oriented team. 2 outdoor cold-weather teams moving indoors. In '69, I think we had something similar, and the Jets went down there and waxed them. Is that going to happen?
Well, I tell you, we're going to take an in-depth look at this football game in the next couple of segments. And I tell you, I think we got a great matchup. And I just only hope, that
that we get half as good a game as last year. Didn't you all think that was a pretty good game last year? You know, I tell you, 20-19, it was one of the best Super Bowls ever. And of course, Scott Norwood is really getting his head beat in up in Minnesota. The press is all over him, of course, about that missed field goal. And we'll talk a little about that because I used to kick in the National Football League, and there's a lot of pressure on a kicker when it comes. Yes, sir.
Who do you think will be the MVP of the Super Bowl?
Who I think is going to win it?
MVP.
Oh, the MVP will, you know, sometimes the most valuable player is a surprise. In the very first Super Bowl, Max McGee, my ex-roommate, who incidentally founded Chi-Chi's, he was the founder of this restaurant chain. He started it, and he sold out, of course, and he made a nice little lick, I guess, how, about $30 or $40 million. I tell you, we'll never have to take up a collection for Max, I can tell you that. But he did. He started Chi-Chi's. A lot of people don't realize that, but he should have been, I think, the most valuable player in the first one. Bart Starr was the most valuable player in the first 2 Super Bowls. Last year, the reason I bring that up, last year I thought Thurman Thomas should have been the most valuable player, 195 yards in offense, 155 yards rushing, and of course they gave it to the winning team. They usually give it to a person on the winning team. This year, you're going to wait because I've got an unbuckled pick, and I'm even going to tell you it's going to be the most valuable player in that game a little bit later. All right, Joe.
Paul, my question is kind of a two-part question. First of all, with the announcement today that Desmond Howard is leaving college football to go to pro, I'd like a little bit to know about your feelings, how you feel about these juniors and sometimes, in Herschel Walker's case, sophomores leaving the college ranks to go to pros. And also, what do you think about Rick Meyer? Will he forego his senior year to play in the professional sports?
Well, I tell you, first of all, I think Rick Meyer, it's a flip of the coin, I understand right now, from what I can hear when I talk to people up at the University of Notre Dame. Notre Dame needs Rick Meyer if they're going to contend for the national championship next year. Now, the problem with kids leaving today is they're afraid there's going to be a salary cap. But I definitely believe that all the kids in college should have to stay in school for their entire senior class. I really believe that because I definitely think it's a cop-out when these kids say, I've got to take care of my family. I mean, they're 20, 21 years old. They're going to have plenty of opportunity to take care of your family. And I've seen it more times than not that a kid gets into professional football, something happens, and he doesn't have that college education to fall back on, that diploma, and it definitely helps. And I would hope that the NFL and the NCAA would get together, that's all it would take, and get together and say that once you make a commitment to a university, you have to, that's a responsibility for a kid coming into college, and he must stay for a 4 or 5 year period, whether he's redshirted or not. He must stay for that long. And we're a little bit running late, and I'll be right back with some great film. Stay right there.
I've been working here since the day they opened this place. Over the years, I've met a great number of nice people. Some of them will drop a card at Christmas. Of course, the horses get more cards than we do. If you come to Kentucky and you miss the horse park, you haven't been to Kentucky.
For travel information during Kentucky's bicentennial celebration, call 1-800-225-TRIP.
Paul Hornung here for J.C. Bradford. You know, I've been investing with J.C. Bradford for over 20 years. Why? Well, first of all, I trust them. They know what they're doing here, and the bottom line is I've made money with J.C. Bradford. You don't have to have a large portfolio to get good service from Bradford's brokers. Here at Bradford, they treat everyone like a big investor. They really do care. So if you want to watch your money grow, call J.C. Bradford and let them go to work for you. I did.
The total number of cheese puffs that you've eaten during championship wrestling and church picnics would add up to one profound puff. But you still wouldn't have a taste as big as these little Gino's pizza rolls. A tremendous taste of zesty pizza and a hot little bite-sized snack. A taste so big, it makes cheese puffs seem a little flat. Gino's Pizza Rolls, the pizza way to snack.
It's the most exciting event in the history of your local Ford dealer. It's his 92 preview. featuring the new 92 full-size Ford pickup with a brand new redesigned exterior, plus a brand new redesigned interior for even more comfort. They've also tripled the warranty, 3 years or 36,000 miles, bumper to bumper. Nobody has more that's new for 92. See and drive the changes yourself during the 92 preview, going on now, where quality is standard. Your Ford dealer.
Yes, sir. Oh, and I hate to do this to the girls, the great ladies. These little gals that work here at Chi-Chi's have been working this room for 20 weeks. Hal Smith's here, the president. He's going to buy a drink for everybody in the house. How about that? All right, yes, sir. The best margaritas in the world, you get a margarita or else you get a Coors Light. That's it, folks, I'll tell you that. Now, let's talk a little about Buffalo first. Buffalo is going in this game with, I think, a great desire to win. I put down a few of the things that I think is important as far as Buffalo is concerned. First of all, Scott Norwood, if it comes down to kicking a field goal, he's going to be inside this year, and I think it's really going to help Scott. Scott's a much better kicker when he's not kicking on natural grass. He's not a long kicker. Chip Lohmiller, the kicker for Washington, I think has got an edge. They got a little edge with the kicking game, but I think it's going to help him. And I tell you, I know the pressure on this young man. He might say he wants a chance to kick one at the end for the difference. Don't believe it. I want to tell you something. This guy would swallow the olive if he had a chance, I tell you. I mean, it's really, really a lot of pressure. If he has to go back in there and kick a field goal, I would pray that this kid would make it, because it would be traumatic if he had to go through another year missing a kick that might mean the difference in the Super Bowl. Now, defensively, the Redskins, we're going to take a look at the Redskins after the next break. Defensively, they lack the speed to really kind of match up 100%. Now, their defense played well all year long, but outside of Darryl Green, they're not too quick defensively. Even their lineman's not that quick. Wilmer Marshall is quick. One of the linebackers is very quick. But speed-wise, I really believe that Buffalo will play a much, much better football game. Now, that spread has gone to 7.5 in spots. And I tell you, I think everybody in America is betting off these last two games, and that's wrong. Buffalo's a better football team than they've played. And the reason is the key to Buffalo. I know Jim Kelly's a great quarterback. The key's not going to be Kelly. To me, it's Thurman Thomas. And I tell you, I've got some film to back it up. Watch this.
While the high-powered Buffalo Bills offense features many dangerous weapons, none can strike at you in so many different ways as number 34, Thurman Thomas.
Outside the 10, Thurman at the 10, breaks it off, comes to the 5,
In what is becoming a yearly habit, the talented Thomas was once again the statistical leader in a multitude of offensive categories. He led the AFC in rushing, as well as touchdowns scored. No running back in the NFL caught more passes, and no NFL player came close to matching his remarkable 2,038 total yards from scrimmage.
He has, in my mind, the single most important quality of a great running back, and that is balance. He can be hit, and you don't topple him, you move him to the side. Because of his great balance, he has the ability to cut. He has great discretion when to turn it on, when to go outside, when to cut it back, when to lunge forward. Beyond that, and this was quite a bonus for us, he's a magnificent receiver as a running back. We didn't know he was that good a receiver. Coming out of college, he rarely caught a ball. And when called upon to block, he does the dirty work too.
Bills are showing pass blocking at the moment, and they're going to throw again, another blitz. And here's a throw downfield. Reed's got it. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
I'm not just a runner that everybody think that I am. You have a lot of running backs who can just run the football, and that's just about all they can do. I like to expand my game, and expanding my game is blocking when I have to pick up blitz and also pass receiving. Not the little 5-yard passes, the 10-yard passes, but also the passes downfield 25 and 30 yards.
In Buffalo, Thurman Thomas is the X factor. the clutch player the Bills look to when their push-button offense gets bogged down.
I think the thing that makes him so great is that he can take it up another level in big games. He's got great ability, balance, speed, all of the things that are evident to the naked eye, but the thing that you don't see unless you're around him on a day-to-day basis is that great desire to win and that absolutely fanatical desire to be the best he can be in big ball games. That's what sets him apart.
Indeed, in a 1989 playoff in Cleveland, Thomas tied an all-time NFL postseason record with 13 receptions. In the 1990 playoffs, he gained over 100 yards rushing in victories over the Dolphins and Raiders before his spectacular effort against the New York Giants that rates among the greatest in Super Bowl history. With Buffalo's passing game neutralized, Thomas single-handedly took on the Giants. Thomas gained 190 total yards in an heroic performance that would have earned him the Super Bowl MVP award had Scott Norwood's kick not sailed wide of the mark. The disappointing setback did not deter Thomas from picking up in 1991 where he left off in 1990. On opening day, Thomas set a furious pace that even his teammates could not keep up with. In a rare double, he gained over 100 yards rushing and receiving in what was the league's best individual effort of the season. Since opening day, Thomas has not let up. Consequently, neither have the Bills. As he shatters record after record, it's not premature to compare Thomas to some of the game's all-time greats. Consider that in his first 4 years, he has rushed for nearly 2,000 more yards than O.J. Simpson did in similar time. And by becoming the league leader in all-purpose yards for the 3rd straight season, he accomplished a feat not seen